Now, something we haven't discussed a lot of, I did a tutorial early on, was the hotbar at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to bring up my recording only screen so we can get rid of me by, you'll just hear my beautiful voice, multiple hotbars. Absolutely fantastic. So right now I've got one hotbar that gives me my main conveyor and building mechanics. And what you can do is hold the Alt key and use your scroll wheel, and now you get another hotbar. So you can have 10 hotbars in total. Now, what I'm going to do is, the way my mind works is that I use the same sorts of layouts all the time. Now, we've now got the current setup I've got in my, it's basically oriented around belts. So in 3 and 4 is belt and lift. Then 5 and 9 are splitters and mergers, and 7 or 8 are poles and stackers. I use that quite a bit. Now, they're Mark 1 belts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the identical layout on the number 2. So it's the same thing here. I'm going to go for 3, 4, 7, 8, and 5 and 9, and very frequently I pretty much all have 1 and 2 as power pole. Oops, power pole and here now. Where was it? I screwed up there. Was this one here? So when I now alt and scroll between, they're identical except the belt speeds, and it's really fast when you're building to switch between the two. And I know myself that in the game right now there are Mark 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 conveyor belts. So I'm going to actually allocate slots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to those positions, simply because it's easy for me when I'm building on the fly. Now, these features are in experimental right now. They're not in the early access version, but very soon they will be in the early access version. If they're not there already, they will be soon. I'm not going to tell you when because I don't know. Maybe you know, and you could put a comment down below and say, hey, they're in here now, and that would help other people. Sure thing. So I'm just going to allocate these now ahead of time because that's how I do things. And there's a few empty slots there. I don't actually use 0 very often. That's just a me thing. And number 6 is reserved for another item that's coming that I haven't got yet. And the next thing too is on 6, we're about to do a bunch of pipe work. So we have very similar things for pipes and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to put the junction cross in a 5 because that's like a splitter. The pipe is like a belt, so that's number 3 to me. The 7 is this one here. I do have, there is a stackable version of these that I don't have yet, so I'm not going to use slot 8. I'm going to put the pump in at number 9.
Hey, Smackin', you just gotta follow.
Side streams, thank you very much for the follow. And in the wall slot, I will probably put 3 in 4. I'll put that. The wall support I'll put as 4. No, actually, I think I do this one as 4, and this one is 7, and I think this one was 6, and quite often, and I do, and this time I'm actually going to do the double wall on number 1 in the power line. I do 1 and 2 quite often at those spots. And that still leaves me with 7, 8, 9, and 10, which I haven't even touched on, foundations and things like that. But we're not going to talk about that now. I just wanted to go through the hotbar stuff and the multiple hotbars. So now when you're building, you're doing something like this, you can just hold Alt down and scroll between the different ones that you need. Simple as that.